Okay, so ang lesson natin for this video is about common sampling techniques. So, tingin ko naman may idea na kayo about the different common sampling techniques, but in this video, mas i-elaborate natin siya and then magbibigay tayo ng mga specific examples. Okay, so let's have the idea of a random sample. So when we say random sample, so for a sample to be random, every element of the population must have an equal chance of being selected. Okay? So try nating i-illustrate. So kung meron ako ditong population, yun yung population natin. So yung mga maliliit na parts niyan, yan yung mga samples, di ba? Okay? So para masabi na random yung sample mo, dapat kada member ng population ay posibleng maging sample mo. Okay, so hindi pwedeng dahil convenient sa'yo, dito lang malapit, dito ka lang kukuha. 'Di ba? So, kailangan lahat sila equal yung chances. Okay? So, a sample is used to get information about a population for several reasons. Yan. So, one, it saves the researcher time and money. Okay, so kasi nga naman, lalo pag malaki yung population, 'di ba? Hindi naman pwedeng kung interview yun, i-interview mo sila lahat. 'Di ba? So, kukuha ka lang ng samples and then make sure yung sample na yun will fairly represent the population. Okay? Then next, it enables researcher to get information that he or she might not be able to obtain otherwise. So, ganun nga, lalo na pag malaki yung population, 'di ba? Halimbawa sa survey, hindi naman pwedeng isa-survey mo halimbawa for the 2022 elections, gusto mong malaman yung pulso ng mga tao, hindi naman pwedeng tatanungin mo talaga lahat ng voters, 'di ba? Kasi imposibleng magawa mo 'yun eh. Unless totoong botohan na. 'Di ba sa botohan nga hindi pa lahat ng voters bumoboto eh. 'Di ba? So kaya yun yung purpose kung bakit sample lang yung kinukuha natin. And then next, it enables the researcher to get more detailed information about a particular subject. Okay, so by using sample, since mas konti nga yan, part lang yan ng population, mas makukuha mo yung every detail na kailangan mo. Okay? So next, in random sampling, the basic requirement is that for a sample of size n, all possible samples of this size have an equal chance of being selected from the population. Okay, so katulad nga nung pinaka-definition ng random sampling, 'di ba? For example, you have 50 yung respondents mo, yung samples na gusto mo. Dapat yung characteristics nun, same din pag kumuha ako ng another 50. Okay, so kumbaga, hindi dat sila magkakaiba-iba para masabi mo na random talaga yung pagkuha mo ng sample. Okay? And then next, we have some incorrect methods for random sampling. So the first one is to ask the question, the person rather on the street. So, paano naging incorrect yan? Kasi kung halimbawa, nagkakaroon kasi ng convenience kapag ganyan eh at nababaliwala na yung concept ng randomness. Like for example nga, sa street nyo, yun yung malapit. O, tapos inantay mo lang lahat ng dumaan doon. Yun yung kukunan mo ng data. 'Di ba? May pagkabaya siya in a sense na pwede kasing hindi naman lahat ng population mo ay dadaan doon sa street na yun eh. 'Di ba? So, that's the point na nagiging bias siya. And then next, asking a question by either radio or television and have the listeners or viewers call the station to give their responses and opinions. So ito, hindi rin siya random. Okay, kasi pwedeng convenience naman nung respondent na kung sino lang available nung time na yon, yun lang yung pwedeng makapagbigay ng opinion. Okay? And then next, asking people to respond by mail. Okay? And then next, so yung tatlong yun yung mga incorrect na way ng pagkuha ng random sample. Okay? So next, we have the methods for simple random sampling. So the first one is to number each of the population and then place the numbers on cards. Okay, so by the way, yung simple random sampling, kung maaalala nyo sa elementary statistics natin, di ba, yung simple random sampling na numberan mo lang sila lahat, then literal mong bubunutin yung names nila or yung numbers nila. And then kung sino yung mga mabubunot, let's say lahat ng names nilagay mo sa isang bowl, fish bowl. So doon, bunot ka lang ng bunot, then yun yung mga magiging respondents mo. Okay? Now, for this simple random sampling, gumagamit din tayo ng what we call random numbers. So, literal lang yan na random na 2-digit numbers. Okay? So, ginagamit yan for simple random sampling. So, mamaya, papakita ko sa inyo paano siya specifically nagagamit. Yan. So, for example, suppose a researcher wants to produce a citywide television show featuring in-depth interviews with barangay chairmen about capital punishment. So, because of time constraints, the 60-minute program will have room for only 5 barangays. The researcher wishes to select the barangay chairman at random. So, you need to select a random sample 5 out of 21. Okay? So, yung scenario is you have 21 barangays in a city but you need to choose 5 randomly. So, dapat mapakita natin dito na equal talaga yung chances na mapipili yung kada isa dun sa 21 barangays. Okay? So, to do that, pwede mong gawin. So, for example, here in Malabon, so we have 25 barangays here. So, pwede nating i-alphabetical and then you numbered each one. So, kaya yan yung ginawa ko kung makikita nyo. So, ito yung 21 barangays and then each barangay ay may number. Okay, so, pag nabunot natin yung 15, so, kasali yung potrero dun sa 5 barangays. So, paano tayo bubunot ng 5 barangays dyan out of 21 using random sampling? Okay, so, gagamit tayo nung random numbers. Okay? So, yan pakitignan nyo yan. Yan yung 21 barangays. Okay, so ito yung random numbers. So, anong gagawin natin sa random numbers na yan? So, kung titignan nyo, ang number lang natin is 1 to 21. Okay? So, para talaga maging random siya at para talaga magkaroon ka ng 5 barangays na kailangan mo. So, pili ka lang ng isang number dyan. Okay? Kung anong gusto mo. Pwede kang pumikit. Tapos kung anong maturo mo, yun yung una mong number. Make sure lang syempre na yung number na yon is from 1 to 21 lang. Kasi di ba nga, 1 to 21 lang yung numbers na meron tayo. 21 lang yung barangays eh. Okay, so for example, pumikit ako at ito ang una kong nakuha, 13. So may isa na ako. So 13. Tapos, sunod-sunurin mo na, pababa. Okay, lahat nung nasa range na 1 to 21, yun na yung magiging samples mo. Unang 5. Okay, so 12. So, next, 13 ulit. Siyempre, hindi na natin ulitin yan. Ito, 6, 16. Okay, and then, 2. Ayan. So, yun yung mga numbers natin. So, we have 13, 12, 6, 16, and 2. So, 13, 12, 6, 16, and 2. Okay, so kung babalikan natin yung barangays kanina, kunin nyo lang kung ano dun yung pang 12, 13, 12, 6, 16, and 2. Yan. So, kung babalikan natin yung barangays kanina na ni-number natin, so, ibig sabihin, napili natin napili na natin yung 5 barangays na kailangan natin. So, ano-ano yun? Ito yun, yung 13, 12, 6, 16, and 2. Yan. So, yan yung 5 barangay. So, we have Baritan, Dampalit, Muzon, Nugan, and San Agustin. So, using simple random sampling, nakapili tayo ng 5 out of 21 barangays. Okay? So, next we have systematic sample. So, sa systematic sample naman, ito yung kinukuha natin yung kth element. So, ito yung every fifth, every fourth. So, depende sa number na una mong maipili. Okay? So, sabi nga dyan, no, this is done after the first number is selected at random. So, pagpili mo ng unang number, pwede ka nang kumuha ng kasunod every fourth, every fifth, o kung ano mang makukuha mo. Depende sa computation. Okay? So, for example ulit, yan yung 21 barangays. So, paano naman natin gagawin dyan yung systematic random sampling? Okay? So, hindi siya na siya simple, systematic na. Okay? So, paano natin ginagawa yon? So, you number the population units, katulad ng ginawa natin, alphabetical, may numbers 1 to 21. Then next, since there are 21 barangays and 5 will be selected, so ang formula is just to divide. So, 21 yung barangay divided by 5, kasi 5 yung pipiliin. So, this is approximately 4. Okay, so ibig sabihin, you select a number from 1 to 4 at random. Okay, so halimbawa, kung 2 yung napili mo, so 2 yung starting mo. Okay, kung 3, di 3 yung starting mo. Okay, and then last, every fourth number on the list, starting with the number you have chosen first, the numbers include the following. Okay, so yan yung mga numbers. Diba? So, you start with a random number from 1 to 4. Okay, so let's say napili ko 2. And then pili ka every fourth. Okay, so halimbawa yan, 2. So, 1, 2, 3, edi 6. 1, 2, 3, 10. Ayan, 1, 2, 3, 14. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 18. So, yun yung systematic. So, napili ko numbers 2, 6, 10, 14, and 18. At tapos, ganun lang din. Balik ka dun sa listahan, tignan mo kung ano-anong barangays yung may numbers na ganyan. And then, yun na yung 5 barangays na napili natin out of 21. Using another method of random sampling which is called systematic random sampling. Okay po? So, what are the advantages of a systematic sampling? So, the first one is the ease of selecting the sample elements. Okay, so mas madali siya kasi 'di ba? Sunod-sunod lang. Hindi mo na kailangan nung table ng random numbers. 'Di ba? Pili ka lang ng starting point mo, then susunod-sunodin mo na. Depende sa computation mo. Then, in many cases, a number list of population units may already exist. Okay, so 'di ba? Kadalasan meron ka na agad data na may numbers eh. Like for example, sa school, 'di ba? Sa school, pag in-alphabetical mo 'yan, may numbers ka na. 'Di ba? Na 1 to kung ano man. Okay, sa mga companies, 'di ba? Yung halimbawa, may listahan sila siguro ng employees, may mga numbers na yung kada employee. Ayan. Then next, when doing systematic sampling, you must be careful how the items are arranged on the list. Okay, so eto lang yung somehow dapat chine-check pag gumagawa ka ng systematic sampling. Kasi for example, pinaghiwalay pala yung male sa female, gusto mo random gender yung makukuha mo, tas gumawa ka ng systematic sampling. O halimbawa, yung unang 200 sa listahan, puro lalaki. Tas dun ka nag-systematic sampling. Di puro lalaki may pili mo. Diba? So, kaya, dapat talaga, chine-check mo maigi kung paano naka-arrange yung data na meron. Okay? The third one is what we call stratified sampling. So, stratified naman, kaya tinawag na stratified, di ba? The word is strata or groups. Okay, so these groups have similar characteristics, kaya sila ginrupo. Okay, so may kita natin yan dito. For example, meron akong 20 heroes, and then we need to select 8 out of 20. Okay, and then those heroes are grouped based on the damage type and the role. So, meron diyang dalawang damage type. Merong physical and magical. And then, may dalawang role. We have fighter and assassin. So, ngayon, yan, 20 heroes yan. Pipili tayo ng 8 dyan randomly using stratified method. Okay, so stratified sampling. So, paano yun? So, meron kang dalawang characteristics. Meron kang damage type and then meron kang role. So, ang gagawin mo lang is you group the sample into the first characteristic. So, for instance, diyan, pwedeng sa damage type. Okay? So, igugrupo natin sila sa damage type. O, yan na yun. So, ayan na, nagrupo ko na. Meron na tayong physical damage, tsaka magical damage. Okay? And then, after grouping it, yung grupo na yan, mahahati mo pa sa another group. Yung physical damage, mahahati mo pa yan sa dalawang groups. Based naman sa role nila. Ganun din yung magical type. Okay, so kaya mangyayari is, 4 na grupo na yan. So, merong physical na fighter, physical assassin, magic fighter, then magic assassin. Okay, so nagrupo mo na sila into what we call strata. Okay, and then you need to get 8. O, di kuha ka tigda dalawa. Okay, so kuha ka tigda dalawa dyan using simple random sampling or systematic random sampling. Okay, kuha ka ng dala-dalawa. Pero, sure pa rin tayo dun na random siya. Di ba kasi nakuha mo lahat ng characteristics na kailangan mo. Okay? So, yun yung stratified. Ganun lang siya kasimple. Anong mga advantage nito? One is ensures representation of all population subgroups that are important to your study. Okay, so di ba nakita nyo, since ginrupo siya based on characteristics, then, kumuha ka each strata, di ba, makukuha mo lahat nung information na kailangan mo. Okay, but ito naman yung disadvantage. Pag marami yung variables included, napakahirap nun gawin. 'Di ba? Napakadami mo magiging subgroups. Okay? So kaya yun yung somehow disadvantage niya. Okay? And then if the variables are somewhat complex or ambiguous, 'di ba? Pag attitude yung data na kailangan mo, hindi mo siya basta magrupo, mahirap igrupo based on attitude eh. 'Di ba? Kasi siya subjective somehow. Okay, unlike yung kanina na physical type, magical type, tsaka role, alam mo agad 'yun eh. 'Di ba? For example, teacher tsaka admin, 'yun madaling igrupo. Kasi objective 'yun. Pero pag ugali ng tao yung pinag-uusapan, hindi mo siya basta mag-group. Okay, so yun yung disadvantage ng doing stratified. And then last one is cluster. So yung cluster naman is a sample obtained by selecting a pre-existing or natural group. Okay, so cluster sampling, may grupo na sila na nag-exist from the start eh. 'Di ba? So kaya ang tawag doon is cluster. Okay. Pinagkaiba niya sa strata, sa stratified, yung stratified, ikaw yung gagawa nung pagkakagroup nila. While sa cluster, given na yung groupings nila. Okay, so anong advantages nun? Reduce cost. Okay, why reduce cost? Kasi may group na eh. Hindi mo na kailangan pang mag-effort para i-group sila. And of course, it can simplify fieldwork. The disadvantage naman, pwede kasi na yung existing group na meron sila, okay, will have a different variation, o kaya nga nag-vary pala, sorry. So, nag-vary siya doon sa ibang cluster na meron. Okay, pwedeng nagrupo siya, yung existing groupings na meron, ay magkakaiba pala ng characteristics. So, kaya ang mangyayari, hindi mo makukuha yung mga characteristics na gusto mo. So, the last one will be about the uh, other types of sampling techniques. So, we have first the sequence sampling. So, sequence sampling is used in quality control. So, dito kumukuha lang ng successive units and then itetest yung units na yon. And then, syempre, kung ano yung characteristics nun, yun din yung characteristics ng mga hindi napili. Okay? So, like for example, yun nga, sa mga manufacturing company. So, random, kukuha sila din ng magkakasunod na products, double sampling. So, yung double sampling naman, you have a very large population. So, parang sinasala mo. Okay, so you have a first characteristic. Let's say, for example, tatanungin mo muna kung naglalaro ba sila ng games or hindi. Okay, so kung naglalaro sila ng game, yun yung kukunin mo for the next stage. Yung mga hindi naman gamer, matanggal na sila sa i-consider mo. Okay, so double sampling yung tawag doon. And then last will be multi-stage sampling. So pag multi-stage, combination lang ng iba't ibang sampling methods. Okay, so yan na yung mga iba't ibang sampling methods mula dun sa tatlong basic, sa apat na basic sampling techniques. So we have the simple, and then the systematic, stratified, and then cluster. And then we also have three other sampling techniques. Okay, so thank you for listening.